Alright, after an hour and a half full of bullshit, for some reason, I got this thing to work. No, it's not the original board. It has a completely new one. The cool part about it is it came from that weird transitional model that it looked like this one, but it just wasn't. I am pretty sure that's a 2003, as it does not sound how it doesn't sound the same as this once did. This thing sounds actually a lot better, like sound quality wise, with this new board. This is a 2003 board, I'm pretty sure. But for some reason, it took me an hour and a half to solder it all back. And of course, it was a pitch modded board, so I had to reverse the pitch mod. But first, I had to find a resistor that would work. So I took apart the glitched Frosty, took that resistor, put it on this board, and it works just fine. I originally was going to use the glitched Frosty board, but I don't feel like hearing that or whatever sound it makes. It was annoying. Um, Plus, that board was glitchy anyway. And not to mention, this thing's original board was glitchy. This thing was horrible. I mean, anytime I would plug in the demo jack, which now it doesn't work, I disabled it. Um, I only did that because I don't know how to wire it up to this, like the 2002 one, since 2002 boards have 5 wires, 2003 and 4 have 3 wires. And I just didn't feel like tracing it all, but what was I saying? Oh, yeah, the original board on the demo mode, it always made it go low pitch. Now, I mean, that is the same for other 2002 spinners, but this thing was very concerning because the more voltage was applied to it, the lower pitch it would get. And as far as I know, my 2-song, which, if you're wondering what actually happened to that thing still exists. One day it will come back. It's been in pieces for too long. That thing, regardless of the voltage, it would always be low pitch on the demo jack. Then it stopped being low pitch. So these 2002 boards are very primitive in design. I don't trust them. And like I was saying, the audio quality wasn't the best. And it wasn't necessarily the speaker, because I tried the original speaker from this thing and tried it with the new board. It sounded instantly better than the old audio. Now, it is a lot more quiet, but I like that because this thing was uncomfortably loud. It actually hurt my ears with its original board. But what I'm guessing what happened is the chip died. That's what everyone on Discord was telling me. With how this thing acted, you plug it in and it starts moving, and it made a buzzing noise from the speaker. I eventually ripped off the chip. I was going to try using another chip on it, but if the board had a fault that made the chip actually fry, then there's no point of adding a new chip to it, because then that chip would fry also. So I digged through all my crap and I found the '03 board from that weird one. Then I wired it all up, and the reason why it took me so long is because I have a wood burner instead of a soldering iron. I lost all my soldering kits and parts and whatnot, so I kind of suck at soldering now. So I can't really do any real board work. If I did have all my soldering equipment, I would have replaced a couple transistors on this, specifically the sound amplifier, so it'd be a little bit louder. Because that's usually a problem that these things develop, is if it goes bad, or not bad, but it just, because it's old, it's not outputting as much as it can. But anyway, enough of me rambling. I might as well play it. This is on lithium batteries too, and the board handles everything just fine. It's much more reliable. Now, I didn't mod anything mechanically on this so it could work with the board, but I have noticed that the output for the hat arm is a tiny bit slower, but it's no big deal. This thing is supposed to be slow anyway, but I already modded it so it could be faster, so it could run on batteries. But anyway, yeah, for all, I guess a PSA for everyone who owns a 2002 spinner, be very careful with the circuit board. That's what originally messed up my 2 song, because I tried pitch modding it and it didn't work. Like, it worked, but it was very glitchy. 2002 boards are just built very bad, in my opinion. 2003 is probably the best year for spinners, as they were built pretty well, in my opinion, and their circuit boards are very, very solid. I have had no problems with any 2003 board. They are very easy to repair and very easy to understand. 2004 boards are a little iffy. I think they're cheap. 2005 is just glitchy, and I don't approach that. 2006 is cost-cutting hell. But anyway, he's working now, so yeah.